Hi all, welcome to the benchmarking of this Compaq SG3 desktop computer. So straight into it, I downloaded a few 3D Mark graphical benchmarking processors from 2003, 5 and 6. I couldn't go any later because this machine just would struggle too much, it wouldn't be worth running. And also PC Mark 2005, which is a general computer benchmarking tool testing all aspects of the system. So I'm not going to run those. I've already run them and I've got some results if you're interested. So 2003 score of 5985, 2005 4751, that barely ran, and 2006 stalled. PC Mark 2005 a final score of 5048. So from that we can draw a conclusion that graphics card is struggling somewhat. What I might do in the next video is replace that card with an AMD R5 340X and just see if we can get some more performance out of the system in the graphical performances. So that may be in another video. So I've got a couple of games that should test the system, Quake 4 and Crysis, and what I'll do is I'll run those, get into the game and report back. Now, as you can probably tell, to give the system every chance, I'm recording on an external camera, and between each benchmark and game I always give the system a reboot just to free up resources. So I'm in the Quake 4 settings menu, and what I'd start off with is the lowest settings you can possibly get. I'm going to keep the screen size as 1024 by 768, but it can go down to 800 by 600. Low quality, and on the advanced settings, I've kept a few of the settings on, like shadows, detail sky. But if the system struggles, then feel free to start turning those off and get that resolution down. So what I'll do is I'll get into the game and report back. So on the outside opening level, top left is the Bandicam frame counter. So it's at 50, hovering around mid 30s. I'm sure that will go down once things start happening. So just moving around this open area. Open areas tend to test the system more than internal areas, in most games, should I say. It still stands up, this game. It runs on a modified Doom 3 engine, and I think that raised the bar on graphical performance. So you can be sure, I think, that most games prior to this will be working just fine. So there's a lot going on this level, so it's mid-20s. So what I want to do is switch off all the settings, all the graphical quality settings, put them to low, and the flag on-off flags to off, and get that resolution down to 800 by 600, because that mid-20s is a bit of a concern. So I'll do that and restart the game. Now this game doesn't look that great, and I think there's slight screen tearing, although it could be the monitor. But we're getting 60 frames per second now outside. So I think there's just a touch of headroom to get some of those graphical settings switched on. On this size monitor, I think I'd live with this resolution, to be honest. So even with a lot of action, that frame rate's staying pretty solid at 60. You're not going to get more than 60 anyway on this monitor. So it was well worth doing. And again, if you haven't played Quake 4, it's an excellent game. In fact, I enjoyed this more than Doom 3, although that is still a great game. So that's Quake 4. So I'm in the Crysis graphical options, 800 by 600, and everything else on advanced is set to low, set for objects quality. So everything's set to low, just to give this system a chance. So what I'll do is I'll load up a game that I've saved and report back. Okay, so I'm in the game and we're getting mid-30s with not a lot happening. So what I'll do is I'll get a few on-screen characters moving and just see what we get. But later on, when there's driving and a few other effects, I'm sure that frame rate's going to go down by quite a substantial amount. So it's up to you if you want to try it. So just get a few, see if I can get a few characters. I think I might have, here we are. So it's mid-20s when there's something happening. So entirely up to you if you want to try this game. Mid-40s at the moment. There's some characters over there. So yeah, it's going above 40. You can't really get this game's quality or resolution lower unless you unless anybody knows any sort of config files to change. So I'd stick with this. There's other games like the Painkiller series that this system shouldn't have any problems with. But at the moment it's playing Crysis mid-30s, I think. What I'll do is see if I can change seats to drive it. I'm not very good at driving this at the moment. It's a long time since I've played this game. It's mid-40s at the moment. I think there's a few other characters later on. Okay, so that's Crysis. Okay, so we've benchmarked the Compaq SG3. That graphics card struggled a bit in some of the benchmarks. And Quake 4, once you get all the settings down to low and a lot of the quality settings flags off, it's quite a playable game at 60 frames per second. So there's a bit of headroom there to get some of those settings up a touch. Crysis, everything was on lowest resolution, and the opening level sort of playable. So it's up to you if you want to try it, but you can be sure that those two games tax the system quite well. So any others like Painkiller or maybe the first couple of Fear games should be fine. Right, so if you've got any questions about the benchmarking on this system, let me know. Thanks for watching.